In Washington today, U.S. President Donald Trump's key tool for deploying tariffs will face a critical legal test at the Supreme Court. The top court is hearing from states and businesses that argue Trump's use of a national security statute to hit nearly every nation with tariffs goes beyond the powers of the president. Trump used the International Emergency Economic Powers Act of 1977 for his so-called Liberation Day tariffs and fentanyl-related duties on Canada, Mexico, and China. The Liberty Justice Center, which is representing small businesses in the hearing, has said Congress would not have intended to hand unrestricted powers to the president. Let's turn now to our CTV News U.S. political analyst, Eric Ham. He is outside the Supreme Court for us this morning. Eric, good morning to you. So it can't be overstated. This is a major test of Trump and his economic policies, something that you have explained to our viewers many times is a weapon for Trump. What is the atmosphere like going into these hearings today?
Well, let's just set the backdrop of what's actually going to take place right now. You've got now the U.S. government is experiencing the longest government shutdown in its history, surpassing the previous record of 35 days under the first Trump administration. Also, last night, you had Democrats pitch a complete shutout in off-year elections, sending a clear rebuke to the administration. And now today, the Supreme Court is going to hear this argument from the president about whether or not who holds ultimate authority on trade and tariffs. Is it the U.S. Congress, which is standing right in front of me, or is it the executive branch, which is just down the road on Pennsylvania Avenue? And it is this building behind me that will actually be the arbiter once again to determine where the power lies in terms of not only national security, but also trade and economic policy. And based on what we have seen already this year, where the Supreme Court has given Donald Trump 18 consecutive victories, now they will be the ultimate test in terms of deciding once again where and who controls how economic policy will be administered, through the president or through Congress.
How long is this expected to take? When will we find out the court's ruling, Eric?
Well, because they're in this final session of the year, I suspect we will have an answer from the court probably in the next 4 to 6 weeks, if not sooner. And we have to be clear, a lower court has already ruled against the Trump administration on this very issue. What they did was they issued a stay to allow the president to be able to go to the Supreme Court to make the final decision on this ruling. And already the Trump administration, they're not actually suggesting or even implying that this is going to be a victory for them, even though the president has had a very good turn of events with the Supreme Court, saying that they do have a contingency if, in fact, the president does lose in court today with these oral arguments. Now, of course, we know that the president recognizes how important this is, which is why he telegraphed that he might be at these hearings. He's not going to be here today. But again, that made clear that the president recognizes this is not only important for determining ultimate power and authority, but also this is one of the president's key signature economic policies that he has been able to use to advance both domestic policy as well as shape his foreign policy as well.
Eric Ham, keep us posted on developments. CTV's U.S. political analyst Eric Ham outside the Supreme Court for us this morning.